We all know that dogs learn through trial and error, and yet we get disheartened when our dogs make mistakes, despite knowing that this is a legitimate part of this process. So I want to talk today about how this process works and why we should be glad when they don't always get it right. So if you and I were in a room and I promised you £1 if you impressed me and gave you no other instructions, just me and my pound, where would you even start? What would you try? This is what we do to our dogs whenever we try to teach them a new behaviour. It's a miracle they get past this first hurdle, really, isn't it? If your boss did this to you, you would accuse them of being toxic and find another job, but our resilient dog handles this really, really well. So what happens is they'll probably start with something they know really well, and when they don't immediately get the treat, they then start experimenting. Maybe they wander off. Maybe they just try to take the treat out of your hand. Maybe they paw at it. They might get bored and sit down. They might bark at you. They could try almost anything. And hopefully one of these behaviours that they offer you was the choice that you wanted, or at least one that worked for you. And if it was, then you would celebrate and give them the food. They have no idea what just happened, so the process just starts again. And it will keep repeating itself until they start to really figure out the pattern. When they notice the pattern, that they do the same thing every time and we give them a treat, now they start to try it on purpose to see what happens. Hopefully we'll notice that and we'll make sure that they get their rewards on time. So if your pup sits perfectly and earns a treat every time, they'll figure out the pattern really quickly. It'll be very clear to them what they're supposed to do and their learning will be really, really fast. But what do you think would happen if the pup did something else and we rewarded them for a good effort? Maybe they kind of crouch on the floor and their bum nearly touches the floor. If we're trying to teach a pup to sit and rewarded them for a half sit or a bum hop or, whatever, because it was just nearly there, or maybe we missed the sit entirely because we were looking at our phone, this introduces a grey area. Grey areas are missed rewards, confuse our pup. They thought they knew the code, but now they're not so sure. So by watching and rewarding on time, we keep that momentum going and we speed this learning up really, really quickly. A dog that is prepared to try new things will be a joy to work with when you try to teach them something. When dogs stop trying, this is the sign that their resilience is really low and they are quite anxious. Sometimes this can happen as the result of trying in the past and their attempts have been negatively received. Maybe aversive techniques have been used, yelling, lead jerking, nose taps, water squirters, shock collars, or whatever like that. These things create a toxic environment where actually only tried and tested behaviours feel safe and no new ones will be tried or created. And you can see that this is a disaster if you are trying to create a new response to something, especially a trigger for anxious or reactive behaviours, for example. So if we don't reward those close enough, near enough moments, how can we use these moments of error to help our pups learn faster? Rather than rewarding a good effort, by not rewarding at all and asking them to try again, they will learn that half sits are not what we were looking for on that occasion. Knowing what we want is just as important as learning what we don't want. There's no need for punishment, there's no need for ignoring, there's no need to anything negative at all. Your pup is trying their best, of course they are. Just stop as soon as things go wrong and try again. In fact, once your pup suspects he knows what a sit is, he'll make mistakes on purpose so he can test what he knows. Dogs often go through a testing phase. This happens at the point they think they know what we want and just want to confirm if their suspicions were right. This can feel a little bit frustrating. This can feel like maybe you've taken a step backwards or you've forgotten everything. But actually, when you know it's coming, you can take this as a win. Getting it wrong on purpose sometimes and doing it well at others helps them figure out exactly what it was that we were looking for and gives them that clarity that they need. At this point, some people think they've wasted their time and the dog hasn't learned a thing, but keep going because this is a sign that you are really nearly there. It's very important not to reward a good effort at this point though. He needs the feedback that he didn't do it right to confirm what he thought. Your dog can learn so many things through trial and error. In fact, they learn pretty much everything this way. All day long, your dog is watching us. They go about their business, investigating stuff, playing with stuff, eating stuff, sniffing stuff. As the day goes on, we will react differently to their actions. Some actions provoke a reaction, some won't. Knowledge is stored, and then later they will use that knowing exactly what the result was the last time they tried it. So if biting your sleeve gets you to stand out the chair and chase them around, next time they want a chase, they'll try that first. If you ignore them when they quietly pick up a toy and look cute, they won't try that behaviour at all. Same goes for any behaviour. Often unwanted behaviour gets a much better reaction from us, and that's how these types of problems can start. It's really easy to ignore our dogs when they are laying calmly on the mat or playing nicely by themselves. But this behaviour is less likely to get used for getting attention. Stealing your phone or new glasses is quite the opposite. They know the best ways to get what they want. They've been watching and experimenting the whole time.